Hello there. I'm in East Lothian and in the small town or village of East Linton. We're going to walk from here on a very short stretch of the John Muir Way towards North Berwick. I think it's only about 8 miles or something, not too far. But before we do that, there's something I want to show you, and it is in fact Preston Mill. It's not actually on this section of the John Muir Way, it's on the section between here and Dunbar, but it is only about a mile or so outside of the village here. And as I think you'll see, it's definitely worth having a look at. So, we've got a lovely day, let's go. This is Phantassie Doocot. Worth visiting just for the pronunciation alone. It's an old building that they once kept pigeons in prior to putting them in the pot and eating them. According to this, it dates to the 16th century. I've often thought the term Phantassie Doocot was not unlike the term Phantassie. But I should stress that at no time in the past did the Crankies ever live here. This is Preston Mill, an 18th century meal mill. I actually had to check my dictionary to find out what meal meant. I wasn't sure what meal was. I had all sorts of visions of food at dinner time and what have you, but meal was just like oatmeal. But yeah, I imagine you could probably get different types of meal in addition to oatmeal. I don't know, can you get wheat meal? Or wheat meal rather? Anyway, it's a meal mill. But it's much more than that. It's just an utterly fascinating collection of buildings. I mean, it's like something out of either some kind of fairy tale or Lord of the Rings. You fully expect a hobbit to emerge from one of the little doors. as I said previously, I mean, you can't not be impressed by this. It's just, I mean, I suspect this building here, for example, has been made perhaps more interesting than it initially was, simply by a lot of shoring, for want of a better word. It looks as if it was originally a round structure, but you've got, for example, this bit here, which looks as if it's maybe shoring up perhaps a bit that was in danger of falling over at some point in the past. And that there's other bits that are added on. I mean, there's bits added on that look as if they're supporting that curving stairway there. There's little kind of side rooms, for want of a better term, little kind of buildings attached to the round structure. And you've got wooden walkways leading to other buildings. It's got to be one of the most beautiful structures in the whole country. So we've left Preston Mill behind and are now on the John Muir Way. As you can see, we've got a lovely day. It's one of very few warm days that we've had this year, because it's been a bad winter, and today's very welcome. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but there's the noise of a lot of very highly revved vehicles coming from somewhere. You hear it? Listen. I don't know whether the sudden heat has driven all the drivers on the roads crazy and they're all kind of zooming about at 100 miles an hour. I suspect what's more likely is that there's actually racing going on somewhere. I'm not sure where. It's to my left, which is to the west of where I am. I'll need to check the map later on. You can't beat a good bit of racing. I've sort of got the sun behind me here. If you check your map, you'll see that in going from East Linton to North Berwick, we're heading north. Sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So having the sun behind me is a little confirmation that everything's okay here from a directional point of view. I mean, so far, and I suspect it's going to be the case all the way, this has been a really well-defined track, easy to follow and well signposted. I've got a map with me and I had a look at the route, obviously, before I come out. And to be honest, it's just nice not to have to be checking the map all the time and just to kind of sit back and let the track take you by the hand and lead you through the countryside. It's just very nice. I can already feel my whole body relaxing. So if the camera suddenly drops the ground level, it means I've relaxed just a little bit too much. The John Muir Way is about 134 miles. It runs from Helensburgh on the Clyde coast to Dunbar by the North Sea. Pretty huge walk. The likes of today's section is reasonably flat. You know, we're following fields, the edge of fields for much of the way. We will at some point pass by the law, or North Berwick Law, a little kind of pimple on the earth's surface just at North Berwick, and we'll see when we get there as to whether we'll go up that or not. I'll see how I feel. Choice is mine, as is the world. That's probably something John Muir should have said, isn't it?
You can get a good look at the lie of the land in Google Maps satellite view, which shows the colourful patchwork of fields through which the John Muir Way passes. You can also see East Fortune Race Circuit in the bottom right, the source of the noise. As the track approaches North Berwick, you can just make out the small rounded hill of North Berwick Law.
Well, that's North Berwick Law, and we're not too far away from it now. You couldn't really come so close to it and not go to the top of it. It's about 187 metres above sea level. It's not that high, but it is fairly steep. And it's really quite pronounced in what is essentially a flat land and seascape. You can see it from quite a good part of the whole of central Scotland, depending on where you are. I mean, I remember just I think it was the last video I did between Dollar and Tillicootery, up on top of King's Seat Hill, and I could see it from there. And it stands to reason that if you're on top of North Berwick Law, then you could see the top of King's Seat Hill and all over the place. Well, this is the top of North Berwick Law. I've examined this for a few minutes now, and I still haven't found the secret button that will dispense ice lollies. That is what they're for, isn't it? The views from up here are stunning. As I think I may have said earlier on, I mean, 187 metres. It's not that high, but it's so sudden, and it's about the only thing that sticks up in what is essentially a very flat landscape, at least for a few miles all around. I can see, Fife, Bass Rock. I can see Arthur's Seat at Edinburgh, allegedly looking like a line. It looks like a line about as much as Dumbarton's Rock looks like an elephant. I can't see the top of King's Seat Hill, which is where I was in my last video, and I could see this. I'm struggling, in fact, to see the Ochils in King's Seat Hill. I think, I can see the very faint, a wee bit of mist, the three bridges at Queensferry. I can't see beyond that towards Kincard and what have you. It's just incredible that from the Ochil Hills I could see this. Anyway, we'll make our way down and head into North Berwick. Well, this is in North Berwick, and given that it's a warm sunny day, the place is absolutely mobbed with folk, most of whom seem to be eating either ice lollies or ice cream. Although you maybe can't see them just now, I am surrounded by folk eating ice cream and ice lollies. You might be able to hear the sound of enthusiastic licking and slurping. And I think, as you well know, after a long walk, the last thing I want is a whole load of folk and seagulls. I was going to do my ending just at the end of the walkway here, just over. There's a kind of short walkway over the rocks here that ends on a kind of viewpoint looking out over the North Sea and various islands like the Bass Rock and what have you. But even it's just chock-a-block full of people, all looking for the best vantage point for the photo and the video, and getting the wee uns to do balancing acts on rocks over sheer drops. Goodness. Anyway, that was a very small part of the John Muir Way between East Linton and here, North Berwick, with a wee donder up the law just for good measure. I'm Eddie Burns. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again.